Every month, gameranx puts together some of the weirdest stuff we've seen. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, the weird gaming stories of March 2020. Starting off at number 10, a Japanese gaming cushion was released in order for you to play handheld games and also use your phone comfortably for large periods of time. It's actually not the worst idea I've ever seen, but I don't know why they did this. The company that sells them, called Thanko, says that it turns you into a prisoner. That's, of course, not what I would use to advertise something. No one wants to be a prisoner. But Thanko calls it the cushion that turns gamers into prisoners. What they mean is that you can play as long as you want without becoming uncomfortable, but I don't know, I'm kind of uncomfortable with being imprisoned. The thing is that it actually kind of looks like a good idea. I wouldn't call it prison in any way. I would say that I do actually very much not want to hunch over while playing my Nintendo Switch. It looks comfortable. Don't tell me it's prison, thanks. Does this gamer bed look like prison to you? No, it looks amazing. Very comfortable. Very comfortable. At number 9, a couple canceled their wedding due to the coronavirus, but wanted to get married anyway. So they did it in Animal Crossing. I mean, it's not the first video game wedding that's ever happened. Like, people have done it in Warcraft, people have done it in Minecraft. But Animal Crossing doesn't have the word craft in the name. Also, it's very big right now, obviously. I mean, of course somebody would do this. Animal Crossing is exactly the type of thing that people would do. This is nice. This is good. It's always cool to hear something that is positive. Although, yeah, it's a little Sword Art Online-y. Still, it's a lot better than simply paying back debt. That's pretty much all you're doing in Animal Crossing anyways. Obviously, there's no such thing as a more wholesome version of a virtual wedding than one taking place in Animal Crossing. You're not gonna find one, don't go looking. But it's also kind of scary because it makes you think about just how much this virus is causing every single person to have to change plans and rework things. In this case, to something that nobody would have thought of otherwise. At number 8, a gentleman by the name of Sean Noonan released a first-person shooter version of the first level, World 1-1, from the original Super Mario Bros. Built in Unreal Engine 4. It's actually really cool. It's free, you can pick it up at any time. And the trailer itself is actually probably the funniest part about it. It's a parody of Secret Agent Man, where he's singing "Nintendo, hire this man." The object is to find all the 8 hidden red coins in the fastest time possible. But it actually holds up pretty well. It does, of course, have to incorporate some platforming elements, and that's not always great in a first-person shooter, but you're kind of expecting it. Because it's a first-person shooter that's built entirely on, a level built for a platforming game. But the assets look cool, too, I have to say. I like the way that he's rendered the Goombas, for instance. It's called the Super 1-1 Challenge. It's really fun, I'd recommend giving it a shot. It's obviously just one level. It's not going to keep you busy for days or anything, but it's super fun. Sean Noonan did a great job. Thank you very much, Sean. At number 7, this very cool Mario Brothers video was made by a French guy, which shows Mario jumping out of the TV and running across an apartment. Although I don't know that I would have reacted the same as he did in the video to a Mario. Like, I don't think I'd try to catch him. That might be a little weird for a small Mario running around in my apartment, but it is fiction, it's not real, obviously. So maybe it's not the most important thing to worry about here. Anyways, this clip took about 20 hours of work to make. Isn't that wild? The guy who created it, Matt Deu, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, clearly had a lot of fun making it though. I mean, let's be clear, I couldn't do something like this. So understand that while we're calling it weird, it's because this took a lot. It's pretty amazing, and it's something that not everybody can do. At number 6, Plague Incorporated, a game in which you're intended to infect everyone and cause a deadly disease outbreak, has added a mode that is maybe a little more sympathetic to the current situation we're facing worldwide. This new mode is one where you actually fight to contain an outbreak. Endemic, the developer of the game, has been developing this mode in consultation with the World Health Organization. Essentially, this reverses the point of the game, but also kind of helps people understand what types of things are actually necessary in order to fight something like what's actually going on in the world right now. On top of that, Endemic gave $250,000 to the Coalition of Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, a nonprofit that obviously works towards making it possible to fight these types of things, and would also be prompting players in-game to donate as well. Obviously much smaller amounts, $250,000 is not something the average person can handle. But if you remember, even back in January, they said, hey, there's a disease going around, and you really shouldn't look to our game as a scientific model of how this is gonna go down. But at the same time, the popularity of their game went way up. I mean, of course, it makes perfect sense we would be seeking entertainment in a game like this during a time like this. But what's kind of weird but yet really cool is that they're going back to an 8-year-old game to create a completely new mode. At number 5, the world's only known Nintendo PlayStation. That's right, the Nintendo PlayStation, the project that was being worked on, which was a merging of the Super Nintendo and disc technology from Sony that eventually was kind of the basis for the actual PlayStation, sold at auction for $300,000. Now, this is obviously a big piece of gaming history. It's an unreleased console between two bitter rivals that turned out to actually be a map for the technology that would change gaming. A much larger disk drive, of course, made much more rich, detailed games. The winner of the auction actually ended up paying about $380,000 for it on account there was a buyer's premium fee attached to the auction of, yes, $80,000 apparently. Oculus co-founder Palmer Luckey was actually highly involved in the bidding and wanted to win this pretty badly, although not so badly he was willing to pay $300,000 for it because we don't actually know who won. It is, of course, one of the coolest things that have existed. Apparently, there were 200 of these things made, but this is the only one we've ever seen. It surfaced in 2015, and it's really hard to call it anything but really cool. I hope we see more of these, and maybe get them put in a museum somewhere rather than somebody's personal collection. At number 4, Bethesda included a DRM-free version of Doom Eternal in its Bethesda launcher version of Doom Eternal. It's regarded basically as a leak. You see, there's a 370 megabyte DRM protected version of the game in the main game folder. There's also a folder that is marked original, and in that folder is a 67 megabyte file that you can just completely swap out for the 370 megabyte file and play the game just fine with no DRM. I don't know. I don't know why they did that. They also did it on Rage 2 last year, and they don't make any announcements regarding these things, obviously, so it's not really clear whether it's a mistake or intentional. It seems absurd because you pay money to have DRM protection. Denuvo is a licensed product that a large publisher buys the rights to use. If it is on purpose, it's probably the weirdest thing that's ever happened because it completely bypasses a large amount of money spent by the company, most likely. And same with Rage 2. It's not like I'm mad. I'm certainly not angry this has happened, but why? At number 3, somebody created a mod for GZ Doom, which is a 3D accelerated Doom port that allows for a lot of features the original Doom wasn't capable of doing, but still retains the look and feel of original Doom with the ability to do other things like look up and down, have sloped surfaces, blah blah blah. Somebody made a mod to add Isabel from Animal Crossing into it, and she kind of functions as like a cross between a second badass walking around killing for you, and Elizabeth from BioShock Infinite throwing you various power-ups. I mean, it's actually a really cool mod. It obviously looks absurd. Isabel does not belong in Doom. That's obviously the more weird element of this story, but that doesn't mean it's not fun. At number 2, and I don't know exactly how to put this, GameStop did a silly. So we've got this whole epidemic going on. It's affected everyone's life. And yes, obviously we all love having our video games. If there's something going on, like we break a controller or something like that, it's hard to replace that stuff quickly. And that's why GameStop done and ruled itself essential retail, giving out a document to its store managers that they're supposed to show to law enforcement if they come to shut down GameStop. which, by the way, has happened in several states. On account, several states are shutting down that type of a business. Like, GameStop is already kind of desperate anyways, but I mean, I think even the most ardent gamer can understand it's not essential in the way that, like, a grocery store is. It's kind of shameless, but it's also hilarious. Although I'm not so certain I really want to go there and hang out during an epidemic. And finally, at number 1, Guerrilla Games confirmed that Horizon Zero Dawn, which is a phenomenal game, it's super enjoyable and was previously only available to PlayStation 4 players, would be porting it to PC. This caused somebody to absolutely lose their mind and destroy their, what seems to be, gaming room. They threw their PlayStation, knocked over all their stuff, made a huge mess, toppled over a desk. I mean, you can see this footage. He's sniffing and crying in the audio of it too. A producer from Guerrilla Games responded by saying, "What the hell is wrong with you people? We made a game, you enjoyed it. Now some more people will get to enjoy it. And that somehow takes away from your enjoyment? Please be kind to yourselves. Your enjoyment of the game has not diminished because some more people get to play it." And I really can't help but agree. It's in no way helpful to ruin your own stuff because they're gonna port a game to another platform. It's also really weird. And a quick bonus for you, since the actual official F1 series of races has been canceled amid coronavirus concerns, there's actually going to be a virtual series held within the F1 game. It's actually a series that is organized by the organizers of the Formula 1 series, and it will be taking place in Codemasters F1 2019 game. It will be broadcast worldwide, too. As you know, there have been actual racers who have started on these games. So I think it's actually going to be really cool to see what happens when the opposite goes, when actual racers play the game. That's all for this month. It's been a weird one. Tell us what you think. Leave us a comment. Let us know. If you like this video, please click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. The best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. So click subscribe and don't forget to enable all notifications. As always, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter @FalconTheHero. We'll see you next time right here on gameranx.